Hello, I'm John Eldredge, and welcome to the Ransomed Heart audio podcast. For more information on Ransomed Heart Ministries, our resources and events, please visit us online at www.ransomedheart.com.
Well, welcome again. This is the Ransomed Heart podcast, and this is a great opportunity for us just to speak to you, just about our lives and life. And I'm with John Eldredge and Bart Hansen today. I'm Craig McConnell. It's good to be here, and I'd love just to kick off a little bit of a conversation this day by just reflecting back on yesterday. Bart, John, we were some men just having some good time, just shooting. In fact, it was a great time, barbecue. And in the course of our talking to these guys, just living our lives and sitting around talking about what's current, what's new, one of the fellas who we hadn't seen for what, Bart, a couple of years?
Probably 2 years, yeah.
A couple of years, he spoke up and he just admitted that so much of what had once been fresh, vital to his heart and his life, so much of what had governed and directed him as a man, had just been lost and kind of forgotten. I mean, it was just startling as he shared that he'd forgotten so much of this. And I was stunned with how quickly we forget the things God has spoken and said. And what is that?
I don't think that I ever saw forgetfulness as an enemy. I mean, we see sin as an enemy. We might see Satan as an enemy sometimes. We might see our spouse as the enemy, but in sort of the battle that we're in day to day, to find God, to walk with God, to find the life that He offers, I don't think forgetfulness registers as a pretty important category to me, but it is crippling. It's absolutely debilitating. I'll be flipping through my Bible, looking for a passage, right? I'm in a study or I'm, having a quiet time or something. I'm flipping through the Bible. I look at all these passages that are underlined or highlighted, and I go, wow, I must have underlined that in a moment of significance. Right. There was a time that was really powerful to me.
Yeah.
Wonder what that was.
Right. Or oftentimes, if I have a sleepless night, I'll wake up and I'll just decide to read some scripture, and I'll be reading along, and God will bring something that just seems so profound. I'm going, oh my gosh, this is great.
Yeah.
And I relish that, kind of live in it. I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning. I don't remember any of it. But I remember there was something significant, but what it was,
that's beautiful.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it brought peace and resolve. It
Yeah.
answered the turmoil of whatever was keeping you awake.
Right.
And
Gone.
It's true. I read back through my journal of words spoken, things God has said, of profound, intimate moments with Him that I've forgotten. And this isn't unique to the three of us. I mean, you just see it throughout, God's story, Him reminding us, don't forget, remember.
Right.
Yeah, and as your story illustrates about the man that you hadn't seen for 2 years, it's not just those quick things that you quickly forget, but it's something that had impacted his life to the core. And he lost it.
Yes.
He forgot it.
It's pretty big. What we're describing here is not a little problem.
Right.
It is a thief of the highest level. It just, this guy had lost it all. And in an afternoon of hanging out together and talking about God, and he got it back. And it was like, poof, 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 the lights are going on. It's like turning the stadium lights on, and suddenly he's back and he's going, what happened. How could I have forgotten that? We go to the Tetons every year as a family, and every year I have the exact same experience. It's been a year since we were there, and we get back, and I go, oh my gosh, I love this place. I totally forgot. I find God here. I find beauty. We have some of the most profound family memories, of the year there. And it's like suddenly I'm back realizing I had forgotten.
Yeah.
What's remarkable in what we're saying, John, is one, how quickly we forget, but then how quickly we remember as well. I mean, it does come back, or it can.
It can come back.
Yeah.
That's hopeful. In Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9, God is speaking through Moses, and he's giving the Israelites the best counsel he can possibly give them before they enter the promised land. And here's what he says: only be careful and watch yourselves closely so that you do not forget the things your eyes have seen, or, and this is the phrase that I love, or let them slip from your heart as long as you live. And so here is God warning, urging, pleading with his people, please, heads up about this. Let this be a category. Let this be something you're aware of. Don't forget. Don't lose this. And most importantly, don't let it slip from your heart. All those treasures, all those things that God's spoken, the clarity, the goodness. Lord, deliver us from forgetfulness.
Yes.
I'm blown away as we're talking about this time and time again throughout the scriptures. God is warning us, and then Jesus gives us the sacraments, and he says, here's why. Remember. Do this to remember me. Don't forget, you guys, because it's going to happen. And this guy lost everything for 2 years, and it changed the course of his life. He made a series of decisions out of that forgetfulness, right? I think he would have described himself as, I lost a lot of ground, got distracted, began to pursue other things. I mean, it's costly. It's costly. So what do we do?
My first thought is, what is it that helps stir our memory? I mean, your annual trip to the Tetons is more than a getaway. I mean,
yes.
That is a huge sacrament, if you will.
It's a pilgrimage.
Yeah. For me, a lot of times it's music, reading through my journals. What is it that kind of takes us back? Is it music? Is it beauty? Is it writing? Maybe it's making sure in our year we have those retreats, those pilgrimages, exposure to those things.
Yeah, and John, I think just returning to our desires, the book you wrote in Desire, oftentimes if we'll just go back to what we desire, memory will come back. All of those past things that we've forgotten.
Yeah.
I can remember my flying came back that way. I had walked away and forgotten it for 15 years and went out and flew with a friend. And as I got out, just kind of walked around the plane, all of this thing just rushed back. All of these memories of desire, deep desire, came back to me.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's huge.
Wow, that's really good. I think monuments are important. I have things on my desk, rocks from the tops of mountains or from riverbeds that were like a really great day. I have hawk feathers that I've found. I have gifts from people. There's a piece of driftwood from a beach in Alaska. And I grabbed those things and put them on my desk so that every day I would see them and remember. Pause, go back, and just recall the beauty or the goodness, or in all of it, God.
Yes. Yeah.
God was there.
Right. I think another thing is just instilling some discipline in my life to step in front of that thief that comes, like, waking up in the middle of the night, reading Scripture. Instead of just going to sleep, kind of losing that thought, have my journal, have some, note and paper there, and you read what God is saying at that point, and you can come back and find that if that happens. I know you guys have taught me a lot about journaling.
That's huge. Or for me, favorite books.
Right.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, just because you read a book and it was impactful, don't think that you can't go back to it. It's not.
Right.
It's not foolish or kind of strange to read it again.
And again. Yeah.
Go back to favorite books. Pull them off the shelf. Remember.
Right.
Wow, God used this in my life. This was huge for me 15 years ago. Lord, you were in this.
If we don't do those things, those monuments, those books, those old friends, our journals,
Pilgrimages.
we will forget.
Yep, guaranteed. Guaranteed. And the truth is you have forgotten, dear friends. You have forgotten. And we invite you to remember. First, just to let the category of forgetfulness be a category. This is an enemy. It's not inevitable. If you don't consciously resist it, then it will steal wonderful things from you. Let it be a category. And then what will you do? What will you do this week to remember? Do you need to go back to a place that was special to you? Pick up a book, scriptures that you underlined, your journals, read back through things. Those of you who have been to a Ransomed Heart event, have you ever gone back through your notes? God speaks at our retreats, and we urge people, write down what he says.
Right.
Because you're going to forget it by Wednesday, to go back, be intentional, and if you haven't read the book, The Journey of Desire, which we re-released this year as Desire, simply the book Desire, the subtitle is The Journey We Must Take to Find the Life that God offers. That might be helpful to just elicit, stir, provoke, arouse desire and the things that God has done in your life.
Yeah, John, what's so beautiful about that book is the metaphor that you instill throughout the book of the sea lion who had lost the sea. He had forgotten where he came from and what his body was made to do to swim in the sea. I mean, it's a beautiful illustration of what is stolen from us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. We hope you loved it. We love getting your feedback as well. If you're enjoying these podcasts and would like to leave us a comment, please visit the iTunes store and do so. And by the way, all of our audio resources are now available for purchase through the iTunes store. You can find our resources and our other podcasts by searching for either Ransomed Heart or John Eldredge on the iTunes store. And to find out more about Ransomed Heart, our podcast, our events, and all of the things that we're offering and doing, come to our website at www.ransomedheart.com.